Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for what I really feel is an important conversation. As you probably know, I am Donna Miller, president and founder of C3 Workplace. We have been helping companies to start, grow, and cope and pivot for the last 25 years. I've had the great good fortune of helping thousands of companies, and I'm one of those insanely blessed people that love what I do even all these years later, so how lucky am I? And I am delighted to be joined today by two amazing women. We are going to be talking about working on your well-being, what it means to effectively, I'm putting that one in quotes, manage, another set of quotes, work and life during this COVID time. So join me in welcoming Amy Arvery and Rose Marie Ortiz Stokes to the stage. Yay! All right. So ladies, Amy, we've worked together many times. Rose, we're just getting to know each other. Rose, introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them what you do.
Hello, everyone. I am Rose Ortiz Stokes, and I am, so I've worked in the capacity of a clinician for about a little over 15 years. Went back, got another master's. I've always worked in education, so I went from social worker to now I am I am an assistant principal at an elementary school, K-8, and am currently at the end of my doctoral program at King University with a doctoral in education.
Awesome.
That is who I am.
Delighted to have you here. And it's so nice because C3 Workplace, we're known for business growth, but this is an important conversation. I was delighted to have Rose join us as a professional educator. And Amy Arvery, many of our people in our audience will know who you are, but introduce yourself, please.
It's so nice to be here. And Donna, it's so beautiful doing these events with you. It makes me so happy. My spirit is so happy. Your spirit.
When I first met Amy, she said to me, my energy loves your energy. I'm like, well, ditto.
It's true. And we've had a nice thing as we've moved through, our years of transitioning, right? So I'm so grateful to be here. I'm a clinical hypnotherapist. I have a private practice. I help companies, businesses, students, adults, pretty much anyone who is having difficulty moving forward or finding clarity, finding peace. I'm that girl. I'm the one that helps people get a little more clear and be able to see the resolution, because sometimes we get stuck on the problem. So that's what
Absolutely.
I'm helping to really help with today, is finding some resolution and providing some tools to help you get to that relief that you're seeking.
Awesome. Thank you. And, I always say knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is power. So as we go through this short time together, I want to encourage all of you to take some notes. Sometimes information comes in a fire hose fashion, but try to grab onto one or two pearls of wisdom that you can put into action, because that's where the magic really starts to happen. So here's what we're going to do. We had so many questions, and I want you to know, as a participant, I am monitoring the chat window and the Q&A. Feel free to give me even more questions, although we have certainly seen a common theme in the questions. We are going to make this a conversation based on the questions that you submitted, and we're going to wrap up around 12:35-ish, and Amy Arvery is going to take us all, and this will be recorded, so you will get this as a gift as well, through a meditation that can help all of us find some of that resolution, relieve some of that anxiety, and focus on the future, because I think sometimes it's easy to get stuck. And if you've ever done a meditation with Amy, it's really awesome. So let's jump right in. Rose, yeah. I think the thing that is top of mind for me, and as a leader and an employer, I now have to look at, as I have in the past, but even more so, I have to look at the whole person and their whole situation. Right. I've got working moms who have kids at the other end of the dining room table. So talk to us a little bit about finding balance between work, family, and goals. And we did get a lot of questions about goals because they feel far away. So talk to us a little bit about that, Rose.
So I think that one of the more important things is really finding or creating healthy boundaries between all of the dynamics of our life, right? A lot of us are working moms and we are, out in the work field. There's so many things going on, especially as women, we kind of take on a lot, right? And we feel like we're responsible for all of these things. But I think what's important, again, is those healthy boundaries and really just kind of knowing what your strengths are, kind of prioritizing your time. And I know that a lot of this stuff we've heard before. So here's where the practice comes in, and you said that early on, is actually being intentional, right, about making decisions. Here's my priority list. These are the things that are going to fall under the urgent and important, or urgent but not as important as everything else, or neither, right? And so a lot of times we kind of place these expectations on ourselves based on the needs of everyone around us. So I think that we have to kind of start with ourselves. Like, what is it that I need in order to be productive? And then start from there and then communicate those needs to those in your immediate circle. Even at work, I know that at work, there are certain conversations that I just don't entertain because there's a lot of what we take in kind of has an impact on what comes out, right? So there are certain conversations that I don't necessarily participate in. There are times that I'll eat lunch by myself, and it's okay. It's okay for you to say, I'm not available today. Sometimes we feel guilt because we feel like there's somehow we owe someone an explanation. And when quite frankly, the answer is I'm just not available. I'm not available emotionally. I'm not available mentally. I'm not available physically. So just knowing how to create those boundaries and be consistent.
Right.
That to me is key.
I agree. I think boundaries are really important. I also think we have to give ourselves permission to move the boundaries as they need to be moved. Because, many of us as business owners, we're very driven. We've got that goal and we've got to hit that goal. But the truth is, in the history of our lives, none of us have ever lived through anything like this. So, all those hard and fast rules are out the window. And I think that goes to, we had a question from Patty and Amy, you wanted to take this one. I mean, I'd love to take it too, but one of the questions is, how do we not get sucked into all the negativity? And, Rose, you talked about relationships, but this was like social media and news and people. How do we not get sucked in, Amy?
Well, I think what they're really asking is, how do I feel better living amongst all of the things that I'm aware make me feel bad or make things difficult for me right now? And I think for me and my perspective, it's a ratio thing, right? So what you're putting in to you is creating a feeling in you. So when you read certain things, you participate in certain conversations, and you have certain behaviors, you're allowing yourself to be in a certain vibration and feel a certain way. And we think we can categorize this, but it's a ratio thing. And at the end of the day, if most of your time or energy was spent dealing with things that cause you to feel bad, well, then you're certainly going to be feeling bad. Right. So how do we do that in the time where most things feel bad? Well, we have to create those moments that can provide us joy. And that sounds ridiculous because how can we find joy when we're just trying to survive and get out of bed and deal with everything going on? But joy can be as simple as looking through your phone at a memory that you once had, or a vacation that one day you would like to take, or an accomplishment or a party or whatever it was, and allowing yourself just 30 seconds to feel good. We don't have those moments. And if we allow ourselves to feel good and we begin to interject those moments into our day, all of that negative feedback that we're getting from the social media and from conversations, that gets minimized as we increase the positive doses that we can allow ourselves. So I think that's really important. And joy can be found everywhere, even in the midst of crisis. It's where you put your focus, where you give yourself permission to put your focus. So.
Absolutely. Patty is thanking you via chat. And I think, again, that's another form of boundaries. And I think you're going to hear that concept of boundaries come up again and again and again, because as we try to be all things to all people, we can't. So we have to, it's self-care, put the oxygen mask on you first. And it's funny because this week I did a rant. Oh, wait, I mean a video blog. about how you always have power. And I believe your power is rooted in your perspective and then taking action. That's the power that we do have. But here's the thing I really want to talk about, because we do have a lot of questions about this, is here we are heading back to school, and that's why we're doing this webinar now. A lot of schools have already gone remote. I've had probably 3 college-age relatives and family friends find out on 2 or 3 days notice, or having arrived at college and they're getting sent back home because colleges are going to be remote and primary schools are remote. So, Rose, how can our parents prepare themselves? Some of the questions we got were so good. I mean,
yeah, they were really
and
good.
I'm gonna throw this out to both of you, but one of the questions was, if I keep my kids home, will they fall behind? Is this remote learning having a negative impact on my children? How do we get them to focus? I mean, we've been spending so much time staring at a screen, and I have to honestly tell you, it's exhausting for me. I have to take breaks. I have to alternate and not get on video calls. So, Rose, talk to us a little bit about what our parents, our working parents, can do to parent and cope.
Okay, so I think with parents, there's this misconception that they now have to become teachers, right? And I get the idea that, you know, it seems, well, they're with me, so I'm going to have to teach them how to do A, B, and C. However, I think what's important during this time, and I think the advantage, and it may not seem so much like an advantage because we're still kind of in the midst of the crazy, but the advantage of all of this is that we've been here, you know, back in March, we were just not prepared. But there were so many, it was like trial and error. There were so many things that we did wrong. And then there were so many other things that were amazing. You know, our teachers kind of stepped up to the plate. Our parents stepped up to the plate. So I think it's important to kind of reflect on that and what worked then, and kind of implement those same strategies moving forward, because that's what's going to help. A solid relationship with the teacher, because the teacher is still, she's still the teacher, right? The parent is still the parent, and we're not asking parents to teach, but we are hoping that they can co-facilitate with us, right, as educators, and kind of create that space that kind of parallels the space that we have at school. So, you know, some of the things we tell our parents is find a quiet place for the child, kind of set them up in a space that's conducive to learning. Because if they have all of the things that they need, that the access to all of those things they need to kind of complete assignments and all, it kind of minimizes the level of stress for the parent. So you know they're going to need pencils. So let's make sure they have pencils. Let's make sure they have their journal, everything accessible to them. Let's make sure that they've logged on, because once they've logged on, you know, teachers don't go into teaching to make a whole lot of money. So that's the reality. Right. So most teachers are teaching because they're passionate about kids. So we're just, you know, what we're asking is a partnership with parents, and you'd be surprised how it kind of balances out the stress for the kid, because it's stressful for the children as well. Yeah. You know, they're used to the socializing, they're used to being with their peers. So just kind of making it as normal as possible. And of course, we can't change the circumstances that we're living in, but even during gym, they have phys ed. You know, during that phys ed time, maybe as the parent, you know what, this is the time that I'm going to do my workout. So now that I'm working out, I'm kind of taking care of myself. The child is working out. And lunchtime, let's have lunch together, you know. And
what a gift. Right? What a gift. Yeah, I mean, let's have lunch great.
Together with your child. Like me, that's great. You have lunch at work. So, and again, I know that there are parents that have to go to work. So there are caregivers in that space. There are babysitters, there are tutors, all of those, and everyone's dynamic is very different. Right. But I think that creating that partnership with the school, there are a ton of resources. Friends and colleagues are on the call, and they're teachers, they're amazing teachers. You know, we can plan. And you said something about that earlier as well, that the difference is that now we're able to plan for what it's going to look like. So that just kind of helps us kind of even out the playing field.
I love the idea of partnering and trying to align your schedule with your children's schedule. Yeah. And, you know, you talked about space, That's boundaries. You talked about having supplies. That's self-care. You talked
Right.
about having structure. That's goal setting. So it all kind of aligns with what each of us are doing individually. But Amy, despite no matter what we say, what I have noticed about all of this is a level of anxiety that I have never seen before. I personally have not ever really struggled with anxiety, but I know it's very real for the, even though what they're stressing out about may not be real at all. I know that anxiety is very, very real to them. So as we all get into the next phase of fall and back to school, what are the, how do we address that anxiety for ourselves? And I think the challenge with parents being anxious is our children are such accurate reads of how we're feeling. So how do we take care of our own anxiety so that hopefully we can help our children to take care of their anxiety and focus and do the things that they need to do?
Yeah, that's great stuff. And that's what I'm getting so much of in my practice is this overwhelming wave of anxiety that's affecting our youth, that's affecting, our parents, our teachers, everyone trying to go back. I mean, everyone is affected by this. And the level of anxiety is extremely high. And let me explain that anxiety is caused by being in an extended state of stress. Right?
Mm-hmm.
We are able to deal with stress. We have all of these wonderful pieces of us that allows us to face stress or run from stress or deal with stress in the way that we learn how to do. We are not designed to stay in this high level of stress for
Right.
such a long period of time.
And it's been a long time.
And it has been a long time. So the first thing I need everyone to know that is feeling that sense of overwhelm and that anxiety is that it is normal and okay for you to be having that feeling. You are not alone. You are not broken. You are not different than anyone else. You are not weak. You are not any of those things. You are responding to a very, very heavy and long period of weight put it on you. On top of all of the things that you have to deal with every day, now you have an extended amount of this ripple effect of worry and stress. And the thing that I hear most is that's the biggest problem with that is there's no concrete end to it.
Right.
There's no like, we only have 2 more weeks to go and everything will be okay. Or, in November we'll be good. Or, so all of those things that would give us joy or would give us a feeling of accomplishment or sacrifice, they're all unknowns. So even maybe you have some good things looking forward to coming back to school, maybe getting your job or being able to go back to your job. Those things can't even really be celebrated because of this feeling. And let me explain that anxiety is a physical thing.
Right.
Anxiety is not, oh, I just don't feel like doing something that bothers me. Anxiety is, I have no control over my body right now and I can't proceed in any way. That's it. Shut down, overload. That is anxiety, and it manifests in a lot of different ways. But that is the overhaul of that. So if you are experiencing that, or if someone is experiencing that, it is extremely important to remember that right now we are in a whole new world. And all of those expectations that you once had based on all of the information and experience that you have had so far, it goes out the window right now. So any of the rules, any of the expectations on you, on those around you, on how you're being perceived or what you may or may not be doing, they go out the window right now. We're making history in this period of time. And in this period of collapse, you have the ability to create things as you desire if you can allow yourself to see beyond that fear and that unknown and that physical feeling. So being able to address your fears, acknowledge that they're there, acknowledge that they're okay to have, and begin to shift your mind into a place of what it is you really want and what does that really feel like, because now it's so long that most people suffering from anxiety can't remember what joy feels like or what relief even feels like or what satisfaction feels like. So when they do experience things that should naturally bring them those feelings aren't there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. It is coloring much of what we do. And we had a lot of questions, of course, around business too, because that's where my focus typically is, and I had a couple of overlapping questions from Donna at Open Heart and Barbara at Guaranteed Rate, and the question is staying motivated and staying focused. When everything's out of my control. And I think that kind of goes to the anxiety. And what I would say to you is, was it ever really in your control? No, it really wasn't. And so I think that, and I've said this many times in many forums over the last 5 months, everything is the same and everything is very different. You still have to set your business goals. But the truth is, you never had any control over your business goals. You only had controls over the action that you took to get to your business goals.
Mm-hmm.
So the way you fill your pipeline, the metrics and the numbers might shift. But the truth is, it's still the same thing. You have to have a goal, and you have to have steps to get to the goal. And for me, staying focused has become harder. I'll be very honest.
Mm-hmm.
I am a 3 to 4 vacation a year kind of gal. You all know, you see my feet in the sand, and I'm working from different places that, in the middle of the winter, I'm someplace warm, and I have not been on a plane since February. And so I'm trying to figure out what the break looks like for me. Yesterday was a 3-hour hike in the middle of the day. I wasn't focused. And I think that's one of the things that I try to give myself also is grace. I need grace. I need to know that I'm not going to knock it out of the park every day.
Nope.
And when I feel like I'm pushing water uphill, that's time to take gym with your child, or go on a hike or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think that, we have to remind ourselves that we've survived 100% of our worst days. This will pass. And, I think as Amy, you were saying, there's always joy to be found. There's always something that we can find in this situation, but it takes, step by step by step to get there. Just keep moving forward, allowing yourself to allowing yourself to change courses, to redefine what boundaries are. And, as businesses, the truth is, frankly, successful businesses regularly turn their model upside down to see if there's a better way to do it. So you should be turning your business model upside down. You should be looking at, what your version of curbside delivery is. For us, we do office rentals. We're doing daily and weekly office rentals. We've got safe spaces designations and certifications. And so you want to be, and the thing that has worked for me is I've invited my team into the solution. I invited my team into the problem. Because if as a leader, I don't talk about the problem, I'm just insulting their intelligence. They know it's there. They're probably a little worried about their jobs, but we have a conversation and I can lay out the plan for why they don't need to be worried. And here's where I could really use your help. So for me, one of the best ways to relieve anxiety is to be working on a solution. That doesn't even mean that the solution is actually going to be the solution, but I'm trying and I'm moving forward and I'm taking action. And I know it's difficult. And the other thing that I mentioned before is, these working moms who are home with children. And I think that, again, we have to get creative. I have a couple of friends who, and I saw a post just today. I live in Pompton Plains, and I saw a post on the township Facebook page, a teacher who retired, who was willing to do a small pod. That's what they're calling it. So a few families group together and hire a teacher. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
So again, I think we have to get creative and resourceful as we start to navigate, I guess, what we're calling the new norm. And Rose, when we were preparing for this, you talked about knowing when to disconnect. I think that's really important, and I don't want to not bring this into the conversation. So tell us, like I just said, I haven't been able to take vacation. So talk to us about that disconnect and how to reset.
I think it's important, and I think Amy might have mentioned this in one of our conversations, just knowing what your triggers are. I think that's so important. You have to know what your triggers are. You have to know what you can and can't deal with. Because
Right.
if you, it's the only way that you can kind of navigate through, right? If you know that this is going to be a problem for me, then I can't do this. If this is going to bring me joy, then I should do this. So it's just really knowing, and we teach our kids this. My social worker, who's actually also on the call, we're great at trying to teach kids how to identify their triggers, you know, and we kind of, we teach them young so that even as adults, they know this is going to upset me. I can feel myself being upset. I can feel myself becoming anxious. I need a 5-minute break. So we teach our kids that. Why, as adults, would we not do the same thing, kind of implement that same practice in our lives, because we also have triggers. So it's just, sometimes I have to disconnect from social media. I remember during the beginning of this crisis, I felt like I was seeing Arrest in Paradise 3 times a day, because people were dying of COVID all the time, every day. The numbers were ridiculous. And it was making me so sad. And I think my daughter came in the room one time and said, "Are you okay?" And I really had to take a step back. And I just had to know for myself, I just can't take it in. I can't watch another news edition of, you know, what not to do and be careful and wear a mask. I understand all of the things that I need to do, but I don't have to talk about it all the time. So, you know, just knowing when to disconnect from those things, those conversations, social media, and being okay with that, because it is okay. And you said that, and you know, sometimes it's okay not to be okay, and understand that I have to disconnect.
That's really great advice. And I again, everything's the same, everything's different. I've been saying for years, the best thing you can do for your productivity is to take a break. Nobody can keep going indefinitely and be really good at what they do. Amy, this question came up a couple of times, and I'm going to throw it to you. And just today, I was looking at a post on Facebook, someone said they were at a networking event. Yay, I was at a face-to-face networking event. And I could see, and it was small, and my first thought was, no one had masks on. What is wrong with these people? So how do we manage that stress of people are at different places of the, you know, there's people in this country that still think it's a big hoax. Yes. And I say that, you know, from my point of view. But how do we manage the anxiety of not being aligned with other people's perceptions?
That's a big one. That's a real big one. It's a real big one. You know, understanding where you are and what your comfortability is extremely important. And if you're not comfortable doing certain things, then don't do those things.
There you go.
Period. And if you are willing to do certain things at this time, you have to be aware that we are all thinking differently, and there will be people behaving differently around you. So you know that you may have the information that you feel you can keep yourself safe. We're all following that, whatever that may be, whether it's different or the same. So identify what you need to do to keep yourself safe. And whatever that is, do it.
Do that.
Understand that everyone is getting different information, and everyone feels very different about what's going on. We can't adjust anybody else the way that we can ourselves. Right. So paying attention to what matters to you and following that. Listen, if you're nervous about catching this or about being near somebody that may potentially be sick, then don't go to those places. Right now, it's okay. You're not going to really even get penalized if you can't. All those expectations have changed. You don't have to be doing anything that you're uncomfortable with or feel unsafe about right now. So if that's the case, then don't. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's funny because,
and also I saw somewhere, I'm sorry, there were in some of the CEO meetings and stuff that I attend, I know a lot of the businesses are using wristbands, and I saw these wristbands. You have them, Donna? I thought they were brilliant, and I
am not surprised that she has them.
I do. Wait. Let me find them.
I'm surprised.
So let me tell you, there's these wristbands, and they come in 3 colors. There's a red, a yellow, and a green, like a stoplight. Look at.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to use that.
They're also
And
now
they
the
have
red
words on
one. The
them.
red one. If you see someone wearing a red one, that means I am extremely nervous and uncomfortable. Don't come close to me without gloves, a mask. I want to be sprayed. I want you 6 feet away.
It
If you have
says,
the yellow,
get social distance, please. And the yellow one says, oh, wait. Elbows only, please. And the green one, high fives and handshakes.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't go that far.
So the green lets people know, like, I'm not so scared. Everything is okay.
Right,
The yellow
right.
is like, I'm a little cautious. Be careful. And the red is like, stay away from me. I think that's brilliant.
I think that's awesome.
Brilliant thing.
They are. And I think we have to. They need to reverse the. One of our participants said they should reverse the colors. You could be right about that.
We're talking anxiety today.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's a great idea, and it's kind of a quiet way of telling your teammates or your coworkers how you're feeling that day, because every day is different. Some days I feel confident, other days I just am paralyzed. Okay, so before we go to Amy, I want to be able to get to your fabulous little segment that we're going to help the entire group with. Again, want to remind all of you, here's what's going to happen. Amy's going to walk us through an amazing gift of mindfulness, which I think is the antidote to anxiety. And then feel free, if you've got some last questions, put them in the chat window. We'll come back after Amy's segment. We'll answer any last minute questions. We'll wrap up, and we will be on our way, equipping you to set boundaries, to give yourself grace, to partner with your teachers, and to know that we're all in this together, and we will get through it. And it will have great moments. It will have not so great moments, but we will get through it. So, Amy, let me turn it over to you. Should I dim the lights or something?
Ooh, you can, but you're going to close your eyes, so it's okay. So we're going to now have an opportunity to feel the relief that we've been talking about trying to find, and that focus that we're trying to attain through this time. So this is going to be pretty quick, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to feel that again, because sometimes when we're in it for too long, we forget what it feels like and what our goals really are. So if you're able, now is the time for you to get yourself as comfortable as you can. And when you're nice and comfortable, you can close your eyes. I'm going to turn a little music on here. Nice. So now, with your eyes closed, as you get as relaxed as you can, I'd like for you to take a nice deep breath in. Just fill your lungs all the way. Very, very slowly exhale that breath. As you do, give yourself permission to relax. This is your time. These few moments are yours to adjust anything in your thinking so that you can feel better, more ready, more clear. Take another deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way. This time, hold that breath. Just hold that breath. Very, very slowly exhale. Feel your shoulders drop down. Feel your arms drop down. Your forearms, your wrists, your hands, even your fingers, let them get nice and comfortable. And you can take another deep breath in, fill your lungs all the way, and hold this breath. Just hold this breath. Exhale, letting go of that breath slowly now, feeling all the muscles in your chest flatten out and relax. It feels so good to just let go. Take another deep breath in. Fill your lungs all the way and hold this breath. Slowly exhale. Feel your whole body drop down now. from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Every muscle, every nerve, every single cell in your body just lets go. What a gift you have, this ability to relax whenever you need, whenever you want. And you can go deeper and deeper into this feeling with every breath you take now, feeling the rise and the fall of your chest with every breath you take, calm, rhythmic. Notice that with every breath you take now, a wave of relaxation spreads through your body, helping to relax every muscle, every nerve, every single cell in your body. Your scalp relaxes. You feel your scalp relax as this feeling travels down over your forehead and your eyebrows. They just let go. All the little muscles around your eyes relax. Your eyelids just flatten out. Your cheeks, your lips, all the muscles around your mouth relax. Your jaw, your chin. It feels so good to just let go. And down the front of your neck and the back of your neck, all that tightness in your shoulder area just melts away. Down your back, it spreads, relaxing you deeply as we take a deep breath in now. Exhale, giving your organs this opportunity to relax. Feel your heart, your lungs, your stomach release all tension, all toxicity as this feeling travels down through your hips and your legs. Relaxing your thighs, your knees, your calves, ankles, and feet, even your toes. You're so relaxed. How wonderful to just let go. And you can go deeper and deeper now as you imagine yourself outside in a beautiful forest on a perfect day. And the sky is a perfect shade of blue and the sun so bright, peeking in through all the leaves on the trees. You are calm and clear, completely relaxed. And here in this beautiful place, you can feel the warmth of that sun and smell the freshness of the air carried in that perfect breeze. You can hear the sounds. And as you look up, you find the most beautiful butterfly at the top of one of those trees. Its colors, so beautiful. And I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. As I do, you can watch as that butterfly descends, traveling down with its wings outstretched, catching the breeze. And as the butterfly descends, so will you too go deeper and deeper into this wonderful feeling. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The butterfly lands, and so too are you, completely relaxed now. Pausing here, giving gratitude for your ability to relax whenever you need, whenever you want. The butterfly lifts up now and begins to travel in front of you, leading you down a pathway. Noticing now that with every step you take, you feel a very deep sensation of letting go, this time of anger, of fear, doubt, insecurity, sadness. each and every step as you follow this beautiful butterfly. You feel this sensation as you get lighter and lighter with every step, just letting go. And you don't even have to try. It's so easy now to let go. As the butterfly leads you beyond the forest now, as the sun hits your skin and in front of you, the most beautiful lake. Sun, so magnificent, so healing, shining on you, shining on the whole scene. Here, having let go of all those things that have been holding you back, you can find a place to sit and enjoy this beautiful view, this perfect present moment. And here, in this perfect place, at this perfect time, you can allow your mind to show you resolution, success, joy, and happiness as you move forward, stronger, more clear, more ready, calm, more confident. Notice what it looks like moving through your days creatively, smiling, confident, bright. You are doing it, evolving and growing every single day with every single breath you take. You find yourself giving forgiveness to those around you and yourself. You find yourself feeling more confident, sleeping soundly, waking refreshed, facing your fears and discovering your strengths. You are limitless. These suggestions take effect immediately. They grow stronger and stronger with every single breath you take. In a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you'll open your eyes, feeling refreshed and very awake. You will have wonderful thoughts flowing through your mind, wonderful feelings flowing through your body. You are doing it. 1, 2, 3, remembering the helpful suggestions. 4 and 5, eyes open, out of hypnosis, feeling refreshed and very awake. Welcome back.
Amy, Amy, Amy.
How was the forest? I felt like everybody needed a little walk in the woods, in the water. I don't know. Did that feel right? Was that good?
That was awesome. And it's so funny because I was hiking yesterday, so I was just kind of remembering what I already knew.
Oh, that's great. And as a post-hypnotic suggestion, I hope that the next time you find yourself walking in the woods, you feel a wonderful sensation of letting go with every step you take.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, as we conclude, Rose, what do you want our audience, our parents of children, what do you want them to walk away with today? What's kind of what do you feel is most important?
Most important, create healthy boundaries for yourself.
Awesome.
Identify your triggers and partner with your child's teacher.
Love that.
Will definitely have a positive impact on your child's education.
That's fantastic. That's really, really great advice. Amy, how about you? What do you want to leave with our audience?
I want to leave. Remember that we are in a new phase of being right now. Expectations are no longer valid. You are creating this way of being. There is no wrong. There is no fear necessary. We're creating it. We're building it. And you're a big part of what your life is going to look like in the next few days and weeks and months. So remember, you're making history. Make it as you need it to be to fulfill you in any way you can.
Wow, we're making history. That's huge. Thank you both so much for lending your spirit and your expertise here today. I want you to remember that you always have power. Your power is in your perspective. Your power is in your action. You can set the goals. You have no control over them. You do have control over your behavior. And I think we have to think of life and work in new ways. Here at C3, we're promoting family share offices because you've got working couples and we've got people renting offices. They get it 24/7. They take turns, completely different careers, but it's one of those out of the box ideas that helps them to be productive, be parents, do what they have to do. So if getting out of the house is something that you would like to do, you know how to reach me, and it will be in our follow-up. And thank you all for joining us today. You will get the recording, which will have Amy's lovely guided meditation. And thank you for joining us. And
you're welcome.
Visit c3workplace.com for all the different pro bono work that we're doing, and watch our calendar for more content to help you navigate this world, this historical moment, as Amy would say.
Yes, 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 that's right.
Thank you all, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Take care, ladies.
Bye, everyone.
Be well.